There was once a forest of pine trees beside a castle. There you have it. A forest of pine trees beside a castle. Okay? The king and queen honored one tree each year. They picked their favorite to beautify the palace at Christmas. Each pine tree longed to be chosen as the royal Christmas tree. Each year the king and queen picked one pine tree to be put in the castle and be the royal Christmas tree. And all the pine trees in the forest, they wanted that honor for themselves. They said, will it be me? When will it be me? Ah, to wear twinkling gold and silver ornaments, cried one tree. Oh, to hold up hundreds of blazing candles, cried another tree. Yes, the oldest tree reminded them. And to feel the pang, that means the hurt, ouch, to feel the pang of the woodchopper's axe hacking your trunk. It hurts to be cut down. Ugh, the younger trees ignored this. Surely the glory of being the royal Christmas tree was worth a little pain. But the tiniest pine tree wasn't so sure. So all the big trees were thinking, I don't care if I have to get cut down to be a Christmas tree. It's worth it. But this little tiny tree right here, you have to look really closely. She's got a scared face. She's frowning. I'm not so sure that would be a wonderful thing to be cut down, even if you could become a Christmas tree. Now we're going to meet the king and the queen. One December, that means Christmas time, one December, the queen spoke to the king as they ate their breakfast muffins. Shall we let the children choose a Christmas tree this year? She suggested. I think they're old enough. A splendid idea, my dear, replied the king. They can take turns. Penelope will go first. So here we've got the king and queen kind of in their jammies, eating breakfast. And the queen says, I think we should let our children choose the Christmas tree this year. And the king says, good idea. Let them take turns. Penelope will go first. She's the princess, Princess Penelope. So Princess Penelope, who was 13, paraded into the forest with an army of servants. One servant carried her handkerchief. One servant carried her shawl. One servant carried an extra pair of boots. And one servant carried a bottle of hot chocolate. The royal wood chopper carried his axe. So here are all these servants that the princess feels she needs when she goes into the forest to choose a Christmas tree. And they've got all her stuff, and the guy in the back has his axe for chopping down a tree. The tree that Penelope chooses. Whoops, missed that page. Here we go. That one, Penelope pointed. It's perfect. Ow! 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 Whimpered the pine tree as the wood chopper swung his axe. Chop! 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 Can you believe it? Ow! I've been chosen! Goodbye! Cried the tree as he crashed to the snow. Goodbye! Called all the other pine trees. How lucky you are! The tiniest pine tree still wasn't sure. So you'll see in this picture, Penelope's pointing at a big pine tree. The wood chopper's just about to start cutting. And the little pine tree is scared. She's saying, whoa, I don't think this is all that great. It can't possibly be all that wonderful to be chopped down, even if you do get to be a Christmas tree. Now the king always decorated his Christmas tree with golden suns. When it was the queen's turn, she preferred silver moons. Princess Penelope decided to outshine both her parents. That means do even better than both her parents with Christmas tree decorations. Mommy, she said, what about stars? diamond stars. That way everyone will know how important we are. Ask your father, said the queen. So Princess Penelope's Christmas tree glittered and shone, loaded with stars made of real diamonds. But when Christmas was over and the diamond stars were packed in a box in the attic, servants hauled down the tree and wrapped it in a sheet. Trash heap. Poor tree. It had its moment of glory. It was covered with diamond stars and everyone said, ooh, ah, but now it's in the trash. All right, next year. Next December, it was Prince Eric's turn to choose the Christmas tree. He was 10. I want the biggest tree ever, he announced. What about that one? The royal wood chopper, and he's the cutter guy, the royal wood chopper scratched his head. Prince Eric had picked a pine tree that would barely fit into the great hall of the palace, much less on the sleigh that was waiting in the snow. Nevertheless, he began swinging his axe. So Prince Eric wants the big tree. It may not fit into the castle, and it may not fit onto the sleigh that's going to pull it back to the castle. But the wood chopper needs to do what he's told by the little prince. Chop, chop, chop. Ouch! Ouch! Yelled Eric's pine tree. I'm so happy! Wish me well, my friends! The other pines murmured their goodbyes. They watched enviously, that means jealously, as their large comrade crashed to the ground and was dragged away by 20 servants. The tiniest pine said nothing. She felt glad she was still too small to be chosen. I'm still too small, thank goodness. No one will want me. Sorry, little trouble turning the page here, but here we go. Prince Eric wanted his tree decorated with money, gold and silver coins. That way everyone will know how rich we are, he told his father. Eric's tree was the biggest and most beautiful Christmas tree ever seen in the castle. Visitors came from miles around to admire its sparkling splendor. There it is, so big it goes right out of the top of the picture, all covered with gold and silver money. Do you remember what happened to the last tree after Christmas, even when it was so wonderful? After Christmas, the pine was stripped of its ornaments and tossed onto the trash heap for burning. It too goes out into the trash. Now, there's one more child in the family. The following December, Prince Obo chose a tree. Obo was short for Oberon. Obo nearly didn't get his turn because he was only 5 years old and everyone said he was too young. If Daddy comes with me, Obo replied, I'll be fine. You'll come, Daddy, won't you? The king rubbed his nose. Must I bring an axe? If you want to, said Prince Obo. I'm going to bring something else. It's a surprise. What will Prince Obo bring when he chooses his Christmas tree? A surprise. After lunch, Prince Obo and the king set off into the forest. The king had the wood chopper's axe slung over his shoulder, and Obo was lugging a bag. So Obo's got a bag of something. So, said the king as they crunched along through the snow, do you want a tall tree? No. Do you want a wide tree then? No, Daddy. What do you want, my boy? A little tree. Look, he pointed. That one is perfect. Uh-oh. It's the same cover as on the front. This is Berto and I chose to put this one on the front. Here it is. Look carefully. You'll see that the little tree looks terrified. Oh no, I'm being chosen. I've always wanted big trees before. Why does he want a little tree now? The tiniest pine began to tremble. Oh no! Am I going to be chopped down before I'm even big enough to hold a robin's nest in my branches? Nobody has ever chosen a small tree before. Why me? Pick someone else! Can you see the pine's face? Oh no! Just then, Prince Obo pulled a shovel out of his sack. Daddy, will you dig up that little tree for me and wrap its roots carefully in this bag? Dig? The king looked astounded. The tree? Whatever for? Why would you dig a Christmas tree? You chop it down. But Obo wants to dig. Oh, if you look carefully, the little tree is starting to smile. I'm not going to be chopped down. You know, when you chop, the tree eventually does die. Dig? The king looked astounded. The tree? Whatever for? So we can carry it home and put it in a pot in the great hall, said Prince Obo. I want my Christmas tree to be all pretty with toys and animal ornaments to show everyone how happy we are. And after Christmas, I want to plant it in Mummy's garden so I can watch it grow. Please, Daddy. The king looked at his son for a long moment. What do you think the king is going to say? Is he going to say, what a silly idea? The king looked at his son for a long moment. That is a fine idea, my boy, he said. I think you may have started a new tradition in this family. A new way of doing things, of not cutting the tree down, but digging it and planting it afterwards. Thank you, Daddy, said Obo. I thought the little tree was shaking at first, but maybe I was imagining things. It's not shivering anymore. Here, I've brought Mummy's trowel as well. Let me help you dig. Trowel is a kind of shovel. So here they are, about to carefully dig up the little tree, wrap up its roots in the bag, take it to the castle, put it in a pot with beautiful decorations, and then what? Do you remember? Then it will be planted in the Queen's garden. If you visit the castle today, you will see 2 pine forests. One pine forest outside the castle walls and one inside. The forest inside the castle walls is not as large as the outer forest, but each tree is carefully tended and well watered. A sign beside one of them reads simply, Our Christmas Tree Garden. Our Christmas Tree Garden. Do you remember the name of this book? The Christmas Tree Garden? Now we know how the family got to have a Christmas tree garden. Kind of a nice idea. I wish everyone could do that. One more page. Oh, this was a sign beside one of the trees says, Our Christmas Tree Garden. And if you look closely, you may spy a robin's nest in the branches. Do you remember that's what the little tree was afraid of, that it would be chopped down and die before it was even big enough to hold a robin's nest, but now we can see that it is holding a robin's nest, and it's probably too hard to see. Maybe you can see in this picture. It's the same picture. I can bring it up closer. The little tree has a smile. Right there. A little smile, because it's happy. Oops. Well, hope you enjoyed.